the Phenomenal Hughes community. Are you ready to become a bankable CEO? Well, join us on the pathway to prosperity. I'm Ashley Scott, your host of Mocha Money Monday. Good morning. I'm Ashley Scott, the host of Mocha Money Mondays, brought to you by the Phenomenal Hughes Global Network. And today I have the pleasure of bringing back one of our friends to the platform and one of our network members, Miss Michelle Outlaw, the CEO and president over at FAMU Credit Union. Hey, Miss Michelle, how are you this morning?
I am well. How are you today?
I am so good. I'm so glad to see your beautiful smile this morning and excited to really chat a little bit more about some of these green building opportunities that are out right now. And just to always delve more into the side of creative, business structures and deals that are out here that our people can start to utilize to scale up and to grow and to make more money for their businesses, for their families, and create generational wealth. And more importantly, to impact our community in a really positive and meaningful way. So I'm really excited to get started chatting with you about, what's been new, what's going on in the world of sustainability and green development, what's been exciting you these days.
Well, thank you. And thanks so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on with you. So, love this team. So, again, thank you. If you don't mind, I like to do one thing before we dive into this clean energy and this green space.
Okay.
I really want to highlight women
Yeah.
and I want to congratulate women
Mhm.
because there's some things that we take for granted. And it hasn't been too long ago, and in many of our lifetimes, of what I'm getting ready to say. And that is this year, 2024, highlights 50 years of women being able to open up their own bank accounts, no credit unions, checking accounts, share draft accounts, all those deposit accounts,
Mhm.
and 50 years of being able to apply for a mortgage without a husband.
Wow. Now that's something that, I didn't even consider. Even as a woman, I'm blessed that I'm young enough where I've always had and I've always seen women being able to be independent financially, to be able to open those accounts. But there was a time not very long ago, just 50 years ago, where women didn't have the right to be able to be financially empowered in this way, to own a home and to generate wealth. So thank you for sharing that. That is a really amazing fact. And I'm so glad that you could bring it to our attention today.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Again, I think we take it for granted. I joined in this financial institution space a little over 35 years ago. And I didn't know when I joined, right? And it was just normal for me. But I didn't think about the fact that my mother
Right.
could not have applied for a mortgage without my dad, or my grandmothers could not have applied for a mortgage without their husbands, because I grew up with women running their households alone. I saw that in my neighborhood.
Right.
Just never thought about it. But anyway, I won't belabor that point, but women have made such great strides. And now that we're at the 50th year, I did not want 2024 to go out without remembering 1974. And even
No.
though, even before that, the law said that they could, there were still rules and barriers in place that had to change. And so that was just 50 years ago.
Mm.
And so look at all the phenomenal women who now own their own homes and they are generating that wealth, which leads us into what we're talking about today. What do we do in this clean energy space? It's new, right?
Yeah.
And so women can participate in this also. So let's take advantage of it and keep the momentum that has been built up over the last 50 years. And where that was more on the personal side of life, now we're building our businesses.
I love that. So let's talk about building these businesses, right? And let's talk about like one of the things, like just thinking about it, I know that it means that I wouldn't have been able to buy 502 acres of land 50 years ago. I wouldn't have been able to help my other clients buy thousands of acres of land and build generational wealth and to start really developing homes, communities, and these green kinds of businesses. So let's dive more into these green businesses, Miss Michelle, and let's talk a little bit about, again, what's got you excited. What's some of the things that we should be looking at, and who? I want to start there with the demographics, right? Because I think sometimes when we think about these businesses and we talk about sustainability and we talk about green business opportunities, funding for green development, people don't know if it applies to them. So when you're thinking about what you're getting ready to share this morning, who will this apply to best?
Mhm. Great question. This is going to apply to any and everyone who can get across the barriers. Okay. And so the first thing that I want everyone to do is to join the Community Power Accelerator program. And that is through the U.S. Department of Energy. And so these are pathways of successful initiatives that are being created. So the Community Power Accelerator through US Department of Energy, and this access to capital is going to be among the most cited barriers that we see in this equitable community benefiting the solar projects. So, the solar developers and community organizers often lack expertise, capacity, and pre development funds to access capital.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so these capital providers will include philanthropic organizations. And so, what I want you to do, and then someone's name that I want you to have,
Mm-hmm.
and let me go back, the communitypower.energy.gov. Okay. Communitypower.energy.gov. And this Community Power Accelerator is a platform that is supposed to make it easier for lenders, for equity investors, and for philanthropic organizations to identify and connect with community benefiting solar project developers and vice versa. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
so, in saying that, you go out there to this website and you just follow the prompts in setting this up so that you can begin a connection.
Okay.
This accelerator project right now is they have about 561 plus $1 million in capital that they're seeking. There is about $1.7 billion of funds committed by the capital providers on the accelerator. There's 81 capital marketing partners participating in the marketplace. And there's been about 176 connections made. There's about 138 million in tax equity, about 126 million in grants, about 230 million in debts, and then about 66 million in some other programs. So I know I said a whole lot in that, but get connected, and then you can begin to connect with other people and learn more about projects that are coming online and about what's available to you. And
I
then
want to
on this,
just say really fast, Miss Michelle. I just went to the website really quickly and it immediately caught my eye that it talks about training and education for new or small developers, municipalities, and any organization that wants to retrieve free training around financing and development processes. They've got these 101 videos and they have multi-week courses. They've got a credit ready checklist and free technical assistance to help you to complete the pre-development things that ensure your projects incorporate equity and deliver meaningful benefits. So what you're talking about, I see now. When you say anybody who can get past the barriers, if you are
Mm-hmm.
someone who has the right mindset, you could be participating in some cool projects. I just wanted to say that really fast because it
Mm-hmm.
caught my attention. And I think what you're talking about, I don't want people to miss the opportunity that if you are interested in doing development projects, because you probably are if you're watching Mocha Money Monday, you need to go visit the website community power.energy.gov today. Go ahead, Miss Michelle. I
Mm-hmm.
just want to put that in there.
No, I'm glad you did because and it is so much, right? And I know we won't cover everything in this segment, but you're absolutely right. And then there's a university that has those one-on-one training programs. And then there's also a 10-week course. But first, get connected and see what people are doing and see where the needs are. Because sometimes we have a sense of, I want to do XYZ, but is XYZ really going to get you where you want to be or need to be? So
Mhm.
get connected and get those, get all the free training that you can get. So thank you for bringing that out.
Mhm.
Then I have my next contact. She's with NREL, and that's the National Renewable Energy Lab, and she is in charge of the lending over at NREL. And her name is Emma Miller, and she is Emma EMMA dot Miller MILLER at NREL.gov. And she can speak to you about the importance of the market and policy environment. Okay.
Mhm.
And you might say, what is that, or why is it important? She can give you some areas of for each state. And you can also go out and research your state that you live in to see how solar ready, clean energy ready is it. I can tell you that the number one state that is saying it's ready is California.
Mhm.
But again, go to your state. And so you want to see when we're talking about this market environment, one, how ready is your state? Is it deregulated or regulated? Let's look at the net metering. Let's look at any interconnections. How are the agencies, the cities, the counties, the state, the companies, how are they connecting together? And then look at your state and what programs and incentives are there. And that's from a state perspective. And then, of course, as we all know, we want to look at the federal, right? We
Yeah.
want to look at that Inflation Reduction Act. We want to look at the greenhouse gas funding. And so, when we're looking at the income tax credits and some other things that are available to us, right? There's billions of dollars out here. And the question is, how do we get to it? And so, in going out there with that community power and then connecting with Emma. And then we have been completing a solar one-on-one class. The last one is November 22nd, and everybody is welcome to join, giving out this information because we do want to get connected and get the word out.
Okay. So you've already given us two really great resources off the top around solar. When we think about green energy, is solar the leading space that we should be thinking about when we think about these development opportunities and projects? Is this the space and place that we should be leaning when it comes to like solar? Is that the thing that we should really be focusing on? Or do you feel like there's some other opportunities, Miss Michelle?
I think it's other opportunities as well. And that's why it is important to go out and just Google uh, just how solar ready or solar embracing is your state. Okay. Because some states may just look at electric vehicles, right? Some states may be looking at solar farms. Some states may be looking at solar panels. Some states may be completing um, a total revamping, of that. Some of them may be looking at how do they reduce these electric lines and doing something else with it. And that's the beauty about when I see and talk to the various companies, what they're doing across the country. So, what does your state want and or need? And
Mm.
so, no, solar is not the only thing. It can be a combination because even let's say that we say we just want to focus on your state says, I just want to focus on EVs, right? Then maybe you have charging stations that are made available.
Mhm.
So you need to tap in with, and that's why you need to understand your marketplace.
Mhm.
If that
It
that
does
makes
make
sense.
sense. Absolutely. And now when you talk about even getting, if I'm a new or an emerging developer, I'm looking for opportunities, who do I need on my team? Of course, this national research or renewable energy laboratory, you gave us Emma as someone we can reach out to really understand our market more effectively as it relates to solar. But if I'm just someone who's in like Georgia, because I am, and I'm thinking about, okay, I'm ready to create a new business. We're going into 2025. I'm looking at emerging trends. Who do I need on my team, Miss Michelle? Who should I be looking at for consulting? Who should I be looking at when I think about, okay, I might be very business savvy, but I'm new to solar, I'm new to green energy. Who are some of the partners that I'm going to need to be able to effectively engage with some of the opportunities that this energy trend is going to provide?
Mhm. Absolutely. Great question. I would tap in with a state representative, a state senator. I would go to, if you're in a community area, especially like a rural area, go to your rural electric cooperative. If you're not, you can go to the larger companies. But I like the smaller companies because I think we get more information because the larger companies already have what they want to do in place. And then again, tap into this community power that I gave you the information because they have small companies across the country and you can learn from what they are all doing. And then, of course, with NREL, and they have their ears to the ground of what's going on. Also, check in with your financial institutions or CDFIs, community development financial institutions. And because there's a lot of, again, dollars that are coming out. So, what do your community development financial institutions have? Some of them have um, been granted millions, if not billions of dollars, for instance, inclusive that's headquartered in New York, but um, they help financial institutions across the country. What are they doing? What are they building? Okay. So go out to that inclusive website and they're inclusive without the E on the end. So INCLUSIV is, I believe, how they spell it. But go out and read their website and see what they're doing. Justice Climate Fund. They have been granted several $1 million. Go to their website and see what they're doing and see who they're going to be interacting with. But, your state representatives, your state senators shouldn't have their fingers on the pulse. Your electric cooperatives should have their fingers on the pulse and need help. And then these national programs, Department of Energy, and again, NREL, they can help you from a national perspective and point you in the direction of people that they know who can reach out. And I think that's how you begin to build your team because that's how you begin to know what's needed in your market.
Okay. Now, before we get out of here, is there anything else you want to share with the audience today as it relates to the opportunities in green development in this business so that we can make sure that we've left no stone unturned?
Yeah, the biggest thing is it's new. Be patient, keep your ears and your eyes open, talk to any and everybody that you can. Look at these websites, go out to the irs.gov for this Google information, because something is new is constantly coming out. So, as I learn more, I'm happy to pass it along and share with you, but I'm learning every day and every month. And I'm listening to people across the country, and everybody's world is not going to be the same. So don't look and don't get caught in a box, right?
Mm.
Don't say this is the way it is. How's George Wallace say, this is the way, this is the what I think, and this is the way it should be, or this is the way it is. It's not. And, as I was sharing, California right now is in the top seat for being ready, and trying to get ready. I met some phenomenal people from Hawaii who's getting ready. But I also know someone here in North Carolina, and in their particular market, it's a smaller market, and the infrastructure is very old. So how do we help, even with infrastructure? So don't think about just the end result. We got to get to the beginning and making sure that our infrastructure is ready for this. Because you had asked the question about, is solar the only thing? Absolutely not. What I want people to be really careful of is when people come knocking at your door saying that you have to do this, you don't have to do this today. Okay. I had someone come by my door from my power company. If you don't, do this and tap in, your bill is going to go up by 30%. No, it's not.
Okay.
Um, I know me, I'm not going to get solar panels. I want to tap into a solar farm.
Mm-hmm.
So please do not begin signing contracts and you're not knowledgeable, and don't allow people to pressure you into this. We
Mm-hmm.
have a long ways to go. We're still trying to figure this thing out. The dollars haven't, even though some of the dollars have been promised, the dollars have not rolled out yet. And if you're interested in making this a part of your world, get in now and learn all that you can, because I feel like right now it's a little bit of quicksand, where we're trying to figure it out. I can tell you that, when I Google Kentucky, is one of the states on the low end of it. They don't want to even get rid of their coal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what can we do to contribute to that? So there's a plethora of information out there. There's a long ways to go, but now is the time to get in and learn, take advantage of these classes that are available to you, because that's going to be the key to your growth.
Mm. And I want to just leave on a final note, just saying, like, I think this is important and that everybody should really take this into account, that this is a huge margin of opportunity simply because by 2030, everybody has to be carbon neutral, right? So that means all of these corporations, all of these municipalities, everybody has to really start thinking strategically about how they are going to go from being, toxic, putting out carbons, putting out carbon monoxide, to being green and reducing carbon emissions. It is going to be a worldwide mandate. It already is. People have been talking about the importance of rolling back our carbon emissions to make sure that we don't continue down the global warming path that we're on. And so this is not just because of, oh, folks are just, hippies and they're just thinking that we need to go green. There's a real policy that's leading a lot of these initiatives so that we can make sure that there's a good future for our children and for all of us. So lean in to this and don't take it lightly, and be a part of the revolutionary opportunities that are coming down the pipeline. Let's not get left behind from building our communities the way that we think they should be built, and being community investors and being participatory in what's happening in our communities. Don't get left behind. So thank you for sharing all of this with us today, Miss Michelle. Your insights have been so invaluable. So I look forward very much to seeing some of our audience members come out with some good information from the websites that you gave us and from the resources that you gave us. And hopefully we make some amazing businesses happen because of the information you shared. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you all for listening in and tuning in to another Mocha Money Monday. I'm your host, Ashley Scott. We've just been with the phenomenal Miss Michelle Outlaw, who is, of course, a part of our Phenomenal Hughes Global Network. Is that right, Miss Michelle?
That's right.
And we will be back here on Monday, 8:30, to be able to get you to the bag like we do every morning. So thank you so much, and you all have a great rest of your day. And check out this amazing network at phenomenalhues.com. Peace, guys. Welcome to the Phenomenal Hughes community. Are you ready to become a bankable CEO? Well, join us on the pathway to prosperity. I'm Ashley Scott, your host of Mocha Money Monday.